The NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up at underdogfantasy.com. Promo code NBA SGPN to get up to $1,000 in bonus credits. Yes, sir. We're back with another edition of the NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. No me, no voice, no guys. Me, really raw, Terrell Furman Jr. here at your service. A lot to talk about. 4 games on the slate today. Got a pair of game 3s, a couple of game 4s, and a lot to talk about. But before, Scott Studio Reichel, I just have to ask you, did you see my viral moment after Jackson Dart got drafted?
Scotty, beat me up.
Surprise.
Yeah, I did. I feel like when the Giants traded up, I knew they were going to take Dart. I thought it was pretty obvious, but I'm wondering, even though, of course, you were hoping they were going to take Shedeur, did you expect it to be Dart based on all the hype that was being, I'd say, drawn up for Dart over the past 24 hours, and based on the Giants, I'd say, rumors to actually acquire him? I thought it was going to be Dart. I never thought it was going to be Shedeur, but I'm curious what your thoughts were.
All right, we got 2 story times, actually, because I have another story time that we have to get to after that. But quick story time about last night. So I originally, when the day began, I had accepted the fact that they had a bad interview and it was never going to be Shedeur at 3. Cool. I had kind of got through that at that point. When they traded up, I completely forgot all of that happened, and that was a thing. And I was completely back on the Shedeur Sanders and Abdul Carter bandwagon. And then I was going to be like, oh, we're going to be great and all of this.
Well, Carter's great, so you got a great player at 3. So,
and then you have Dart, where, I mean, can Dart be good? Possibly. How do I see this playing out? It's going to go throughout the season. Russ is going to do his thing. He's going to be really good in the first part of the season. And really good for us is being above 500 at the end of 7 games. So Russ is probably going to be 4-3 as a starter in the beginning of the first 7 games. Then it's going to fall off a cliff, and it's going to look horrible for a while. They're going to throw Jameis in there. James is going to throw a couple of pick sixes. It's going to look bad. Then they're going to throw Dart in there. And at that point, they're going to realize, oh, man, this guy is not it right now as a rookie. And they're going to fire Dable. They're going to fire Joe Shane. And then the next guys, those 2 guys, the guys that's actually going to matter, they're going to get here and be like, who is this Dart kid? I ain't draft this dude. Who is this dude? Who's with him? And then Dart is going to go off somewhere in 6 years, and he's going to actually look like what he probably should have looked like as a rookie for another coach in another team in another place. And we will be like this.
Okay, so your prediction is a Sam Darnold career arc.
Oh, dude, yes, absolutely. Okay. Very, very. I'm so sad.
Once again, at no point when the Giants traded up did I think they're going to take Sanders. At no point. I thought it was just guaranteed to be Dart. So I was not surprised by that outcome.
Sigh.
I also wasn't paying attention to the draft that much because I was watching actual playoff sports. So that's what was keeping me busy. But my Jets drafted an offensive lineman, which I was fine with. They kept it unflashy. It was basic. But at the same point, I'm watching the Grizzlies blow a 29-point lead. I'm watching every game besides the Clippers game, which was competitive. The games were pretty good last night. And even hockey had an overtime game in there with Ottawa. I was watching actual sports. So that's how I handled it.
And it's funny because I almost missed it. I don't know why it's flipped back over to the draft, but I flipped back over and the Giants were literally about to just make the trade and about to pick. And I'm like, what? No. And I ran.
Well, because you also had to be involved with the SGPN live thing. I popped in.
Oh, dude. Yeah, because we literally took bets in the beginning and we were like, are we coming back for a Giants pick later? And half of us were like, no. Half of us were like, yeah. So, oh, man.
I was there for 5 minutes. I'm like, oh, Jets are going to take this alignment. And then it was done. I'm like, all right, great.
Yeah,
I'll be back to watching sports. See you guys. Peace.
And then we had my tweet making the halftime show while we were gone. Wait, well, first of all, before all of that, Scott, I went first in the locks and we double swept.
Yes, we did.
So I guess that officially means mojo change, huh?
Yep.
All right, cool. So remind me of that and remind me of this moment when eventually, it may not be today because we just talked about it, but it might be next week when I forget that I went first and
I'll remind you, so it's fine.
Yeah. So
It's all good.
new mojo. Well, we'll see how this rolls, but it's been that was all right. But the viral moment online, dude, on CNC, it was hilarious because I was literally sitting there and I was watching CNC, and it's like this moment that if you don't watch the show, you don't realize. But like they always do this, like it's literally the same broadcast. It's been the same broadcast for like decades at this point. When you get to halftime, it goes Chuck. They do a race to the board. Kenny, Shaq. That's how the analysis goes.
And
Every
Shaq
freaking time.
interjects in between, but basically that's how it goes.
No, so this is the issue. Shaq hates when people interject right before when Chuck interjects right before his spot, because Shaq will be like, it goes 1, 2, 3. Chuck will go 1, 2, 1, 3, and he get pissed off at that.
Yeah,
man, Chuck did that shit again, and I was laughing because Shaq was trying not to show it, and he just slammed that pencil 2 times on the table to get somebody attention of let me talk. And at that point, I was just thinking, I'm like, man, nobody even said anything about it. Yeah, nobody acknowledged it. And so here I am on Twitter, like, all right, let me throw some gasoline on the fire. Ain't nobody talking about it. I didn't think they were actually going to pick my tweet. It's really not my fault. It's the producer's fault. They're messy, but they ended up picking my tweet, and my tweet went up there instigating more beef between Shaq and Charles.
I actually watch a lot of Inside the NBA, but I actually didn't watch that episode. Just by
that's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy that you didn't see it.
No, I missed it.
I'm actually shocked that it kind of reminded me how many people watch sports live, because I got a lot of messages when that tweet went on air. Like immediately, people.
I think I missed it because I was switching over to other live sports during halftime.
No, so that's literally what
Thunder were down like 30. So I'm like, I'm just gonna watch something else. So I think that's why I missed it.
A lot of people were like, "Yeah, I was literally just switching over. I missed it," and then a whole bunch of other people were like, "Yo, I just seen it on the timeline." Da, da, da. I'm like, man, that's crazy. Like. And then I quietly got picked again the next day, but nobody saw that because that happened at the end of the late game. And who's up at the end of the late? If you're up watching NBA inside the NBA at the end of the late game, that's just diabolical. I'm up because I have work to do, but like if you're just up randomly in the middle of the night on the East Coast watching the late inside the NBA, whoo-wee.
I mean, it's a good show, but you recognize if you want solid analysis, you might be looking at other shows.
Especially not at like 1. The show ends at 1:30 in the morning.
Chuck always talks about like 1 a.m. We're out of here. It's all right.
Yeah, yo.
I'm glad you want to be here.
And it's like 1:30, and you're still on. Man, it was funny. And I was like, when I seen it, and nobody texted me when it got on the second time, and I was like, yeah, nobody texted me because who watches Inside the NBA at 1 o'clock in the morning? Sure. All right, man. Let's get into it. We got a couple of games to talk about. 4-game slate here on a Saturday. If you're popping in here on a Friday, don't ask me about Friday games because I'm going to act like they don't exist. All right. Before we get to that, though, got to remind everybody to go to, well, no, you don't have to do that. You just got to go download our SGPN app. Wherever you get your apps in the App Store, Google Play Store, whatever store you download, talk about all of our picks and podcasts, all of that over there. We even have contests running through there every now and then. So go lock in on the SGPN app.
I did the same thing for the ad reads too. They didn't change it, so I just said the SGPN app. That's the same thing. That's the same thing I did on my pod too. 100%. Same thing. I did that this morning on the NBA show. I'm reading it. It's like, oh, draft show? Nope, that happened already. SGPN app, pretty good stuff. Recommend. So yeah, I did the same thing.
I'm glad you picked up on my ad lib there.
Same exact thing. If there's an ad read that's like out of date, I'll just say SGPN app. Don't forget to lock in.
Yes, man. What? Yeah. It's a lock. Just go promote the app. Promote the app. Oh man, that needs to go on a highlight tape of our best moments. Us being able to ad lib the fact of, oh, this is an updated app. That should go on a resume. I'm putting that on my resume. All right, 1 p.m. on the East Coast. A little bit earlier of a tip, not as early as it could be, but a little bit earlier. Here we've got game 3 in the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Miami Heat series. Cavs are on the road in Miami here, laying 5.5. 213 is the total in this one. Let's see. I don't think there's anything big injury related here, Scott, unless I'm forgetting something.
Hero. That's basically it. That's all that's going on in this series at this point.
Yeah, you got Darius Garland's up on the injury report now. He's a questionable with the left toe sprain, but I don't think that's stopping anything over there. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's going to end up playing.
It's so funny, the beef, though. They called out Hero for his defense, and Hero said, I know you're not talking, Garland. You don't guard anybody either. It's like, all right, sure.
Like, bro, like, but and it was just funny to me because, like, when Darius Garland dropped the clip, I'm like, wait, where did this come from? Was this always here? Like, why did you just, I mean, I get, yes, Tyler Hero is the dude that you put into action and you target him. But
so
you just,
Garland.
So you just said that? Like, why did you just say that? Why did you just say that? Like, I don't know. Maybe the league is starting not to care no more, man.
We're assuming for the sake of the playoffs, honestly, unless you're the Celtics, that most teams will not have anybody in the injury report. We'll mention Golden State later, but for this game, I mean, I'll ask you for the series so far because I think we all picked kind of a similar series. Cleveland will win, Miami will hang in there, and maybe they'll steal a couple or one. It's a question if they steal one because Cleveland's clearly better, they're clearly deeper, and they have Mitchell who took over the, of course, final couple minutes there of Game 2. Miami, though, hung in there.
A couple minutes. He took over that whole fourth quarter.
No, but I'm saying, like, it was a 2-point game, and
then
Mitchell hit a couple threes, and the game was over at that point. Yeah, Mitchell had a great fourth quarter, but I'm saying the last few minutes, he iced the game. That's what I'm trying to say. But I'll ask you, because Miami, it's a question if you think they win a game or not, because they kept Game 2 close. Maybe Cleveland got complacent, let Miami hang around, and then Cleveland ended it. But Cleveland's clearly the more talented team, and it's not close, and Bam's been invisible for part of the series.
Yeah, man. I mean, I just don't get what else. I mean, it just, if the Miami Heat win a game, am I gonna be surprised? No, because it's Eric Spoelstra and Miami Heat, and they made Game 2 competitive. But
they don't have answers for most of these guys.
Yeah, like what are they doing when it gets to the fourth quarter? Like, ultimately, I look at all this, and shout out to all the listeners that remember all the little things we say over the course of the season, because somebody also brought back up, the Heat in the fourth quarter. Just really bad. Just really, really bad.
They had so much money fading them alive in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, man. Like, they're like, and now we're in the playoffs, and they're doing the same thing in the biggest moments. Like, they really could have knotted this up 1-1. They had the opportunities, and they just didn't, get over the hump there. And I'm supposed to think that they're going to do it here on the road. I mean, I guess maybe a better play is probably Cleveland 1-10, but there's a chance Cleveland could still, go on a run and win this by 10 plus points. I just say at this point, it's two teams that are just two completely different directions right now. And I just don't know who's getting in front of the Cavs right now in this moment. So give me the Cavs laying a 5.5.
Yeah, I'm going to go with you. You said 5.5. I saw 6.5, but once again, shop around. You could probably find a better line. I think Cleveland should cover. Cleveland looked like they were going to run away with Game 2 on about 4 different occasions, and then Miami went on a run to make the game close again. But they're not a great offense late in games. Bam almost had a triple-double. He barely shot the ball. It was a classic Bam passive game, which you can't have. Your team's not good enough to have that.
As the second best scorer, you can't.
Yeah, second best scorer. Yes, I know the 9 assists are cool, the rebounds are fine, but you got to do better than that when it comes to points. They need you out there. You don't have enough depth. Davion Mitchell's making himself so much money, over the last couple of weeks. But once again, he's a bit more.
And it's like every single game, the price tag goes up,
pretty much.
Up. Shout out to Off Night, man.
But you're relying on him and basically Highsmith to have these solid 3-point shooting games almost every night. Burks has been kind of invisible. Wiggins has been fine. But you're looking at Cleveland just having more depth. Game 1, Ty Jerome took over. He had like 28 points. Did nothing in Game 2. Didn't matter. They won anyway.
Because Max Strus had the big game in Game 2, and he had a whole bunch of threes and was really big. Like,
Cleveland just has so much scoring depth, and Miami has none of it. And I feel like that's a serious problem you run into, because I know I'm calling out Bam, who was 1 assist away from a triple-double. But at the same point, when you don't have as much depth and you're relying on Mitchell and you're relying on Highsmith to hit some outside shots, you need your main 2 guys to show up. Garland hit some threes. Mitchell took over the fourth quarter. Hero's been trying his best. I think Hero's been having a pretty good series. But nobody else has really shown up in terms of star power, and that's on Bam. So give me Cleveland minus the 5.5, 6.5.
Bam can't be the second best player on your team.
No. If you want to be a serious contender, I know they made the finals with Bam arguably being the second best player. I think probably being that, but I don't think you can actually win a title if Bam is your second player, in my opinion.
And really, in that instance, I would say Jimmy was still the second best player. I say Jimmy was the first best player and the second best player in that.
I was gonna say, I would say that
like
Bam was better than Hero at that point.
You had it was playoff Jimmy, and then it was regular Jimmy.
Yeah.
And then it was Bam.
I was saying, though, they made the finals, though, and Hero was injured with a broken wrist. So technically, Bam was the second best player on that finals team, but they didn't win, obviously. You get what I'm trying to say. We're on the same page here with Bam.
Yeah. All right. What's the total at? 213.5.
I mean, I might just keep taking the overs until a game goes under.
Cavs team total over.
I mean, Cavs scored 121 in both games. I'm just assuming that they're going to score again.
Yeah, Cavs team total over. I'm not 100%. I'm not 100% that Miami is going to have the best shooting day. They could completely lay an egg. All right. Let's see here. We got a game 4. Before we get to that, though, got to talk to you about Edge Boost, first ever bank account built for bettors, ensuring all gambling transactions are approved. No usage fees, no minimums, earn cashback rewards, 100% approval for all betting deposits. Sign up today over there at edgeboost.bet. Promo code SGPN. Deposit $25 and Edge Boost will match your deposit. That's edgeboost.bet. Promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by mybookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet every sport, including the NBA playoffs and the NHL playoffs. Plus, you can also get props for every single game. So, the true DGens are in the MyBookie money bag. MyBookie also accepts customers from a ton of different locations. You can easily deposit using lightning fast payouts and cryptocurrency. Head over to mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Terms and conditions apply. That's mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. All right. Next game up, 3:30 p.m. on the East Coast. We've got a game 4 between the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Memphis Grizzlies. Grizzlies are down 3-0.
They almost got one, though. They almost had one.
No, they did. And then Ja Morant had a freak accident with Lou Dort, and he was out for the game, which, I mean, at that point, you probably could have had that in your handicap of Ja will probably go out during these playoffs once. And as much as the situation was very unfortunate, and everybody knows I am a huge Ja Morant guy, Memphis Grizzlies were my squad for a very long time. I think last season, I was even telling you at the end of last season that Memphis was a really good bet to win the title this season. That was good until it wasn't. And Ja Morant was good until he wasn't. And so now there's going to be no Ja Morant in this game. And now OKC is laying 15.5 here in a closeout game on the road. 222.5 is the total.
How do you come back from that?
Because it was a 29-point lead when Ja was in the game. He goes out, and you just slowly saw the lead evaporate. And I'm literally texting my gambling buddies in a group chat, and I'm like, 29-point lead. Ja Morant just went to the locker room. He's probably not coming back. And OKC is at the helm with a whole half to play. Yeah, there might be a good chance that they come back in this game. And sure enough, they did. It was like plus 550, maybe even better.
Did you jump in at 550?
Yep.
I jumped in late. It was third quarter. They were down 12. I jumped in at like 230, 225. So I got in there. I still made some money.
I went. It was 26. It was a 26-point lead when I got my bet in.
It was down to 12, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know how Memphis is going to score. So I ended up taking it.
They couldn't do anything. It was just a completely different team when Ja Morant left the floor. And now I have to expect for you to survive on. I mean, the only thing that I'm afraid of is that they get up for the game and they make the game competitive and still lose in the end.
I think they did that in game 3. They had a perfect half in game 3.
But there's a chance that this could just not be. This could not be anywhere close. This could legit not be anywhere close.
You can argue OKC actually is going to think, I don't want to say more highly of Memphis, but they're going to be less likely to overlook this team for game 4 because of how bad the first half in game 3 went. You can argue that after the first 2 games winning by, I believe it was the second highest point margin of all time in the first 2 games, you figure, all right, Memphis is going to roll over. We got the series in the bag. We're going to win. The Memphis jumped them, scored 70-plus points in the first half, and you're going, oh, maybe they actually are here to play. And then Ja got hurt. They couldn't score. And Oklahoma City smelled blood in the water, and they came back and won. I don't see Oklahoma City sleeping on this team. I think they are out for blood here in this game. I think it gets ugly. I tweeted it out that if Ja doesn't play Game 4, I'm picking OKC by 30. I'm picking OKC by 30. I feel like home court advantage might even be a disadvantage at this point, because if it goes sour early after you spend all of your energy trying to win Game 3, and you had a historic collapse. I know that there was an injury involved still. You're up 29. You should win that game in a half.
Like, it's just, so that's literally the way to think about it. You're up 20, like, what was it at halftime? I know it cut down from 29.
It was at least like 24.
Yeah, it was still like 20-something points. So you're spotted 20-plus points in a half against a team without your best player, and you still can't get it done?
You need to not get outscored by 1 point per minute in order to not completely blow the game. And they did. They didn't score for the final 450 of regulation. 0 points.
Yeah.
In the final
it was like, I do remember that.
It was disgusting. But the point is that Memphis, you could argue, with the crowd being involved, if they're down 10 immediately, it's over. Half the crowd might leave early. Like, it's going to be a mess. I think that Oklahoma City jumps them. Shea has been really bad in this series, and they're still dominating a lot of these games. I don't think Memphis has a chance. They're 0-7 against the Thunder this season. 6 of those wins were by 13-plus points. I don't know how Memphis can emotionally get up for that game after how Game 3 unfolded. I think it gets ugly. Give me OKC by 20-plus.
All right.
Do you want to play devil's advocate or just agreeing with me? Because I don't know how you respond from that.
No, let's get the broomsticks out.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, can't do anything. Can't do anything with that. 222.5 is total under, because I don't know if Memphis will score.
I'm not sure. I don't think Memphis gets to 100. So they scored 0 points in 4 plus minutes to end the game.
Let's see what their official team total is. It's officially at 103.5. Yeah.
I don't think they get to 100.
That might show up at the later.
They shot the lights out in the first half, and then at that point it was curtains. They couldn't hit a shot. So yeah, I think
you had like 19 from Scottie Pippen Jr.
He was great. Aldama was great in the first half. I mean, Ja was great. He got hurt. That's unfortunate. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you were relying on a lot of role players to step up, and they did early on. Truth is, Caruso took over the entire game. And Chet was great offensively in that second half. The defensive intensity that Caruso had. Caruso was so damn good that entire second half defensively. I don't want to say single-handedly shut down the Grizzlies offense, but he was deflecting every pass, and I thought he personally changed the intensity of the entire Thunder defense. And he had 4 steals, 3 in the fourth quarter. They couldn't throw an entry pass. Like, he was phenomenal, and if he's on the court for 30 minutes, you got problems. So, yeah, once again, I agree with you on the Grizzlies team total under.
Yeah. All right. Let's see here. Next game up, we've got the Denver Nuggets going up against the Los Angeles Clippers. Clippers are up in the series 2-1 in Los Angeles for Game 4, laying 6. 212.5 is total. MPJ is questionable with that shoulder strain.
That whole team is like dying at the moment. They're probably all going to play, but it's not good.
And, well, is Russ playing? I know Russ didn't come back in the game.
He's also questionable. We're not going to know until closer to game time.
Yeah,
and I heard Gordon's not doing too well, but he's going to play. But I heard that he's dealing with something.
Yeah, I think he's good. But really, we might not see MPJ. We might not see Russell Westbrook here. I mean, this game.
I'm going to ask you because you're the zigzag guy compared to me, but it looked bleak in Game 3.
No, they're not. They're done. They're done. They're done, man. They are done. I can't see it. And when we said Game 3 was going to happen, Scott, we called it in the beginning of the series. When we get to the first game in Intuit Dome, they are going to go crazy, and that's exactly what happened. Like, I just think that the moment was way too big. They were down 20 at half. The moment was just way too big. Screw the injury, screw everything else. The moment was way too big. It was a rocking environment. It felt like that the Clippers could hit everything they wanted. And they didn't have to depend on Kawhi Leonard for them to be able to get that game done. Like James Harden had a great day shooting the basketball. Norman Powell was able to get going. Like they got contribution off the bench from Derrick Jones Jr. and Nicholas Batum. Like, yeah, Bogdanovich still hasn't scored a point in the series. They haven't needed him.
No, he scored 2. He had 2 points last game.
Oh, he got it at the end?
He got 2.
Okay, he got it. He got it. I missed it. He must have got it in the blowout portions because
Derrick Jones Jr. at 10, Batum at 12. Like, they're throwing out guys that are giving them something. Denver's got nothing. They have nothing. Yeah.
There's like Jalen Pickett, like Strawher, whatever. What is going on?
Strawher, I don't think's played. They've barely used them.
Yeah, like they're done.
They're done. I agree. I know that this was the series we were the most confident in. I think in the first round, we thought the Clippers would probably win in 6.
Yep.
If you want my take now, I don't think Denver wins another game.
Oh, dude, I think it's over.
I think it's completely over. I'm trying to think of how Denver can get back into it. And the only way they can is actually if Murray and Joker combine for like 65, 70 points. Mm-hmm. That's the only chance they got. Porter Jr. is injured. Gordon, we know, is not the best shooter anyway, but now he's also dealing with something. Westbrook was the ultimate wild card. Airballed the 3 and said, I'm out of here. He didn't come back for the rest of game 3. He might be seriously injured. Look, as bad as Westbrook might be at times, he's the only bench player worth a damn.
Yep.
Like, you don't have anybody else, and your starting 5 at this point with all the injuries you have just isn't just not doing their part. And you're looking at, once again, Chris Dunn, who's a phenomenal defensive player, who's done a very good job of making life difficult for Murray. You get nothing easy. And as for Denver, they're not a great defensive team. Harden's been solid. Kawhi's been solid. Zubac's been quietly solid. I think he's been underrated in this series because his defense on Joker has been good. And Powell's been up and down, but that's fine. You still have 3 solid guys every game. And Denver right now has, 1.5? 2 if you want to use Murray as a full reliable option, which we can debate on. The Clippers just have more quality players. It's as simple as that. And you have an interim coach thrown into the fire. They fired the GM and their coach for a reason because they realize the team's not very good. Yeah. And the Clippers are the better team. So we like the Clippers in this series comfortably. I like the -1.5 games. They could arguably be up 3-0 if they didn't choke away game 1. I just don't think Denver's got much, if anything, left in the tank. They have no surprises. I think the Clippers might blast them again in game 4. And if they won game 5, I wouldn't be surprised either. So I'll give me the Clippers to win this game comfortably.
Scott, I have a $10 to $1,500 parlay going on.
Okay.
One of the legs is Clippers 4-2 exact.
I'm not sure Denver wins a game, man.
Very nervous about that one, man. I'm very nervous. I'm really hoping they go up 3-1, go back to Denver, and just let them have it. Let them have it. Let them have it. Jokic has an amazing game, 40, 50-point triple-double. They get a win, and I live on to the next one. I will say, extremely nervous about that leg. It's only 2 other legs, by the way.
I need somebody to explain to me how Joker finishes with 23, 13, and 13, and they only have 83 points. How does that happen? 83 points, he had 13 assists? Did anybody else do anything?
The bottom number is 26 points off assists. Could be more, but the bottom number is 26 points off assists.
Well, I know the first quarter was kind of crazy from 3. I had the under in the game as my lock, and that got there, courtesy of a really ugly second half. But Denver's out of moves. There are some teams you look at, you can argue the Grizzlies are in the same portion right now, maybe not to the same extreme because OKC is better than the Clippers. But you're just looking at this roster going, what adjustments do we have? Phil Jackson could be coaching this damn team. They wouldn't win. They got nothing. So this is, in my opinion, a series that is over. I don't mind the Clippers to blow this team out again.
All right.
Bro, Patty Mills got minutes last game. That's how you know the series is over. Patty Mills is playing minutes.
So we're both on Clippers laying 6. I don't care about the total in this one. Sorry,
I'll go under because Denver might not reach 90 again.
Yeah.
Denver team total under if you want to go for a pivot.
All right. Let's see here. Underdog Fantasy. You can play Underdog Fantasy Pick'em in any sport. Went up to 100x by picking higher or lower on your favorite player, competitors' fantasy stats. We'll be dropping an underdog lineup at the end of the show for the people. So go over there and sign up right now and get ready. Be there with us at the end. We'd be pretty good with these. NBA SGPN. Claim your special pick and first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. UnderdogFantasy.com. Promo code NBASGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm, your home for AI bat picks and props, live for Major League Baseball, MLB, golf, all of that. And building your model is so simple and easy. If I can do it, I promise you can do it. Like, it's really that easy. So head over there. Rhythm has some amazing deals going on with 25% off monthly subscription with promo code SGPN25 and a 50% off annual subscription with promo code SGPN50. That is sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM, promo code SGPN25 or SGPN50. Oh, this one's going to be a tough one. Scott, we've got the Houston Rockets on the road going to play the Golden State Warriors. This thing is all knotted up in game 3, 1 game apiece. Golden State's laying 3. 203.5 is the total. Very, very interesting and pretty big news is that Jimmy Butler not expected to play in this game, and we don't know if we're going to see Jimmy Butler again or when we're going to see Jimmy Butler again. That's pretty disheartening because what were they? Some 25-5 or something like that.
Yeah,
with Jimmy Butler. After
I don't know the
trade.
exact number, but they were real. I mean,
it was really good. It was 20 plus something to. It was a lot to a little. Let's just say that they were a lot to a little with Jimmy Butler in the lineup, and I promise you, it wasn't the losses that had the lot. So
they were going to miss the playoffs if they didn't get Butler. Like, he's the main reason why they're even here at this point. So,
with that being said, this is still Golden State.
Mm-hmm.
It's still Steph Curry. It's still Golden State at home, and it's still the playoffs, and it's still against the Rockets.
Are you calling for the nobody believes in us game?
I kind of want to, man. Kind of want to.
We've been here before.
I feel like everybody's.
But
I feel like everybody. I want to go check. I gotta check the betting splits and see where the money is actually going. But I would really assume everybody would jump in on Houston here with no.
I'm assuming right now it's on Houston because if Butler ends up getting ruled out, the line might move. And even if Butler plays, you still might feel decent about Houston.
Nope. Golden State's still getting a sizable amount of money.
Really? That actually surprised me.
60% of bets, 55% of money. About there, so it's not a huge 70-80 jump, but it's still over there on Golden State. I think it's the right play, man.
So you are going for the nobody believes in this game.
Yeah, I think I am. Now, because there's two ways that this can go. This can either go nobody believes in us. Well, of course, there's only two ways it can go. It's either one team wins and one team doesn't, but it's either nobody believes in us and they just go out there and just hoop. And we get there and have this competitive game that's back and forth, even without Jimmy Butler. And Steph takes over the fourth and they still get a win. But like, dog, eBay is really, really nasty with these defensive coverages. And if you're telling him he doesn't have to worry about Jimmy Butler anymore and he can blitz everybody as Steph, like that's really, really concerning that I have to trust other people on this team. And I don't even know who Steve Kerr is going to be throwing out there. Like now you got to play Kuminga. There's no way you don't play Kuminga now.
Oh, he was definitely pissed that he had to play Kuminga in game 2.
Yo, he was tight.
He was so pissed.
He was tight. He didn't want to do that shit at all. He was tight. That's what's making me mad. I really do want to jump in on Golden State here. But like, and maybe this is the big Kuminga game that I tell you about where Kuminga is forced to go and play after Kerr has benched him for a while, and Kuminga just goes off and reminds everybody, yo, I'm really like that. Like, maybe this is that Kuminga game, and that's how Golden State gets the win. And at least that's what I'm going to tell myself, because I'm still going to pick Golden State here because, god damn, the Rockets make it really, really hard at times. But I'll admit, very, very nervous about this game. What are you doing?
Yeah, I am assuming that Butler's not going to play in this game. This is definitely a great nobody believes in us spot, but I think I got to go Houston. I just have to. I'm watching game. Of course, I have the under. So I'm sweating out the under with you. Yep. They combined for 22 points in 90 seconds. Game was going to land 180 if they didn't have.
Nah, man. Nah, the flurry of threes at the end of the first half was just because they hit 6 in a row.
They made 8 straight shots. 6 of them were threes in the span of 90 seconds.
It was the first 6 that were threes.
Yeah.
It was really annoying because it was like, it wasn't like that, like you had time to forget about the first shot. every shot was a response to what the other team did.
Yeah,
How do
much.
you go on a 6-shot heat check between both teams, all of them threes? Like, oh, dude,
it was crazy. So but the point is, even despite that, the game still went under.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with the under in this game again because I have to. But to go back to the Rockets here, I'm looking at Golden State's roster, and it was one issue that I had, and we agreed on it. Even though we did both pick Golden State, I had Golden State in 7. I thought they'd go into Houston and win Game 7 on the road. My main problem, which I brought up with you, is how much they're putting on Curry and Butler's plates. And I understand the argument. You're in the playoffs. You want your best 2 players to carry you. But you're looking at the supporting cast, and unless Podziemski has that heater that he had for about 3 weeks, they got nobody. They basically have nobody. And Kuminga was in the doghouse for about a week straight, 2 weeks straight. They brought him out because they had to. But you're looking at the actual guys getting minutes in Game 2. I'm going to ignore the garbage time guys because they pulled everyone with a couple minutes to go. But you're talking about Kuminga getting 26 minutes. 26 minutes. He was a healthy scratch for about a week and a half in the 2 biggest games of the season. You have Looney playing 13. We know he's not great offensively. Guy Santos played 11. I thought he was horrible. Post gave you some good shooting. He's one of the only shooters you have on the team at the moment, but defensively he's not really any good. Hield's been atrocious. Gary Payton II, we know, can't really shoot. And Pat Spencer gave you 11 points in 12 minutes.
Yeah, when Pat Spencer started going off, I was like, yeah, these boys are cooked.
He banked in a 3, but the point is that, like, Spencer, you forgot was even on the team because he hasn't been used in an eternity, and he gave you a random spark. You got nobody.
Do you know Pat, do you know Pat Spencer's jersey number?
61?
Yes.
He was the UConn guy, right?
Yes. His jersey. No, wait.
Or that was Cam Spencer.
That's Cam Spencer. No, that's Cam Spencer. Pat Spencer was from Northwestern.
I legitimately have never seen that guy play
basketball.
But
Pat Spencer,
Northwestern, 61. I do not remember ever watching that guy play basketball.
Number 61 is nasty. Like
it is. But the point is that really you're looking at Golden State's bench and their lack of scoring options. And Podziemski was dealing with an illness, so we'll see how he feels in this game. But you're looking at assuming Butler's not there. They're sending everybody at Curry, as they should.
Yep.
Which means you're looking at Draymond, who we know is not a great shooter. I mean, we're being honest here, not a great actual shot creator for himself. Moody, who is mostly a catch-and-shoot guy.
He could have a good game. He could not have a good game.
He could be, but I'm saying when it comes to creating your own shot, Moody's more of a spot-up shooter, I think we'd agree on. Podziemski can do it a little bit, but he's also battling something now, but I think he's also mostly a 3-point spot-up guy.
I think it was just the illness.
It could be. We'll see.
I'm pretty sure it was just the illness.
Point is, Kuminga, though...
the sick report's been going crazy all year.
Kerr doesn't want to play Kuminga. And you have all the bench guys. With Hield has been bad. Post is also a spot-up shooter. You don't have anybody that can really create off the dribble. Kuminga can. That's why you got to use them. But you don't have anybody who can actually manufacture their own offense, which is a problem against an elite defense like Houston has that's physical, that will throw many bodies at Steph to force anybody but Steph to beat them. It's a really bad situation. My prediction for the series, Houston wins Game 3 outright. They force Butler out, Willis Reed music or not. Butler comes back for Game 4, and I think they will end up winning Game 4. But for Game 3, they just don't have anybody worth a damn, as far as I'm concerned, that I actually trust to give you a solid 15. They got nobody. So give me Houston. Houston had Jalen Green off a heater with 38. Şengün's been very good. Even Dylan Brooks and Ahmed at double-digit points last game. They just have so many scoring options compared to Golden State. Give me Houston on the money line at plus money. I have to go under. I have to. The under is my favorite play here.
And that's where we disagree, because the so many scoring options compared to Golden State, I don't think is an actual thing. I think
compared to Golden State, I don't think Houston's like scoring depth is that great, but compared to what we have now, I think now definitely.
Not even compared. I think they're both just bad, and we can just say they're both bad. They don't have neither team has a lot of really good scoring options outside of their main guys right now. Like, I think that for me, that's pretty fair to say. Even with Tari Eason having that hot game in the last game, I don't think that that's every single game. And I like Tari Eason as a player, I really do, but I don't think the scoring options are there on either team. So, I mean, of course, we all knew that it was definitely under, but like, I know there's a prop out there of neither team to get to 100 points. I'm pretty sure that's plus money. I'm pretty sure that's a really.
It's going to have to be
here.
plus money because the total's a 203.5. I don't think
Yeah.
either team gets to 98.
I think they're pretty bad. I think they're pretty bad here. So yeah, I don't trust either team to score the ball, which is actually a reason why I don't want to play the side in this game, because I don't understand who's going to win, because I don't trust anybody to score. It just depends on when the game goes on, who has the hot game and gives their team that little bit extra that's going to push them above the top. Is it Jabari Smith Jr. coming off the bench for the Houston Rockets? Is it going to be maybe Buddy Hield or Jonathan Kuminga? Is it going to be Jonathan Kuminga? Because you're probably going to see a lot of if Jabari Smith Jr. is going out there and getting buckets, I'm almost positive that Jonathan Kuminga is going to go out there as well. And he's probably going to end up scoring at some point as well.
Kerr's out of moves. He has to use Kuminga.
Yeah.
It's not even a discussion at this point.
And I think that's a pretty good matchup, Kuminga and Jabari Smith Jr. So I'm interested to see that. But yeah, dude, under.
The under is my favorite play, obviously. Six straight meetings that have totaled below 204. Even the game that had the crazy flurry the game had 22 points in 2 minutes, and the game still landed 203. Like, I gotta go under. It's my favorite play. I'll keep taking it until the over hits at some point. But I'll ask you though, because I think
you could play. I think you could play both Jalen Green and Steph's unders on one ticket, and it probably a hit, man. I just think both sides, they're literally going to do everything they can to make sure those two guys don't get off, and then we're going to be sitting here playing hot potato to see who else is scoring the basketball outside of those two.
If you actually want a fun pivot, I don't mind Curry assists. If you want to go for a pivot, because they're just going to trap every ball screen. You don't have a choice. They're going to send multiple bodies at Steph every time, and you might get some wide open shots. Will they hit them? I have no idea. But you can go for the assist angle if you want it. I do want to ask you, though,
under Curry assists, Green assists, have a day.
I do want to ask you, though, for the sake of the conversation about supporting cast, who do you think, assuming Butler's not there, who is the second best option for Golden State?
Jonathan Kuminga. Jonathan Kuminga. Been trying to tell everybody.
But
I think it's Kuminga. You just got to unleash him, and you got to understand that he may make mistakes, but so does Podziemski. They're kids. They're still kids, but I think athletically, for what they need in this series, dude, you just got to let Jonathan Kuminga go out there and hoop. And you know what? If it's not great on the defensive side of ball, then you as a coach got to get around that. But like, this dude can hoop. He can score. And at this point, you need any type of scoring you can get. So
I just don't know how I'm supposed to back a team that's giving actual minutes to Guy Santos, and you're looking at Spencer coming off the bench for like 12 minutes having an absolute heat check.
Oh, well, I think this game is going to be better than that. I think that last game, one, Butler going out wasn't in the cards. Two,
it was a shell-shocking.
I knew very early on they were punting that game. They put Kuminga in that game early. Like,
it was also a must-win game for Houston. They couldn't go down 2-0.
Yeah, in the second quarter, when they put Kuminga in, I knew that game was over.
I thought my TV was glitching. I saw Kuminga on the floor.
Yeah, I knew. I was like, yeah, I think I tweeted about it. Like, he's definitely putting this game. Kuminga's out there for sure.
I just feel like looking at these rosters, the last point, if you took Butler off this team like we do for this game, assuming he's not going to play, I think Golden State's a 9 or a 10 seed.
Yeah.
I think this team's horrible. So I'll take the Rockets, who are at full strength, against a team missing its second best player. That's kind of where I'm at. But I like your angle, though, for the nobody believes in us game. Yep. I just don't understand how for a nobody believes in us game, I'm laying 2.5. I need to be getting at least a possession in the nobody believes us game.
Yeah, I understand. But
that's where I'm at.
But the Rockets are the Rockets, and the Rockets couldn't beat the Warriors before Jimmy. They couldn't beat them after, so that's what I'm kind of.
They won the last game in Golden State by 10 in the regular season.
Come on,
Curry had 3 points.
You get one. Yes, you get okay. Couldn't beat isn't like couldn't beat like never get a win. You get a win every now and then, but like it's never consistent, and I just don't think it's going to be consistent here. Give me a zigzag theory here. Warriors get the win again. Don't feel the best about that, but I'm gonna continue to hitch my flag on the Warriors. But I will say this does have 3-1 deficit written all over it. Coming back from a 3-1 deficit, it has it written all over it. It really does. Because if you tell me that the Rockets somehow, if the Rockets, sweep Golden State now with Jimmy out, and you tell me you got a Golden State team that's been tested on the road that just has to go win one road game, win a home game, and then we're in game 7.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that has 3-1 deficit. Like if we get to a situation over the next couple of days, the weekend, whatever, and Houston is up 3-1 in this series, I'm telling you, I'm coming back on this show and I'm telling you, Golden State's not dead in the water. Jimmy Butler's coming back. Like,
I think Game 3 is also massive for the sake of determining Butler's status. Because if they end up sitting Butler and they lose, I think he's playing Game 4. If they win Game 3 without Butler, I expect him to get Butler extra rest and they sit him in Game 4. So I actually think there are massive implications for this game for Butler's future in the series of availability.
With that being said, I still feel really good about Golden State in 7, believe it or not.
I do not, but that only comes down to how long Butler might miss. If Butler comes back after missing 1 game, I feel good about it too. But if Butler's missing multiple games, they got problems. Serious problems.
I don't know, man.
That's where I'm at.
They just got to score. I've really talked myself into an angle of, despite me still taking Golden State, somehow Houston wins these next 2 games and then somehow folds a 3-1 lead, which really wouldn't be like, I would not be surprised. Like, dang, you went up when Golden State didn't have Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler came back and then they won 3 straight games. Oh, wow. Yeah. Like,
I'm kind of on the same page as you, but once again, that comes down to how many games Butler actually plays, and that's a serious question mark with this whole situation.
I also have a ticket that has Golden State 4-3 as well. So,
okay.
We're in for a sweat. This is going to be a fun series. All right. Lock, dog, underdog.
You're going first.
Yeah.
I remember.
Let's see. For my lock. Gosh, the Clippers are really tempting again.
I feel like there are 2 slam dunk plays, honestly, on the card for this.
Yeah, man. I feel like a lot of stuff. I just don't know how I can get away from. I don't know how I can get away from Houston Golden State under, bro. I really don't. I told myself that it was gonna be Memphis team total under, but and it always happens, the recency bias of talking about the last game and then doing lock and dog. But like, dog, how are they supposed to score? How is anybody supposed to score?
It's not recency bias though. The point is, we get to talk it out. The perks of the show. Yeah. We talk out our thoughts and maybe we convince each other to take something.
Yeah, no, there's no way they're scoring under Houston Golden State. 203.5. It's at 203 again. Like, this is the same line I had for the last game, and Jimmy Butler's not playing here.
Most likely. It hasn't been officially confirmed, but I would be shocked if he played.
Dog, if he played, they might actually lose because there's no way he's effective.
I would take all the under in Butler stats. That's a standard. Butler shows up and leaves in the first half because he realizes he can't go.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I actually hope
that's what we should have did with Pajemski, man, when he played with that illness. Remember how I told, hey, who's been here all season, listeners? Who's been here all season? I told you, hey, when somebody has an illness and they're questionable and they decide to play anyway, and then they play 10 minutes and leave because they realize they're sicker than they thought. Literally, what happened with Pajemski.
I wasn't on the show for that. That was you and Lonte. So I wasn't on for that episode.
Yeah, that was really, really good angle there. And Pajemski left that game with 14 minutes last time. So I could see that happening with Butler if for some way the grace of God he plays. All right. That's the lock. For the dog. Do the Clippers run away with it again?
We're 2 peas in a pod right now. We're just on the same
page. Dude, the same? For real?
Yeah, we're on the same page. I mean, I feel like there's only 2 plays that I fully love and I know I'm going to be betting. Yeah. One's the Clippers, one's the under in the Warriors game. Like, probably Grizzlies 2 for team total, but those 2 feel like you got to just try to run it back. We basically called the Nuggets dead. I mean, that's what we called them.
Yeah. I mean, and they have injuries on that side. Like, what's supposed to make me feel good about the Nuggets here? That I want to take the Nuggets in any capacity, shape, or form. Like,
the problem is you need Joker to go God mode. The problem is he dropped 60, 10, and 10, and they still lost the damn game when they were healthy.
Right, this is what I'll do because I don't want to steal everything, and I want to give the people.
No, you can do it. It's fine.
No. I want to give the people a lot of things, and I actually really like this play. I just got the Grizzlies under 99.5, so don't get to 100 plus 151.
Okay.
I'll take that.
So for my lock on the show, I was going to go under, but you know what? I'll go with the Clippers instead. Give me the Clippers on the spread as my lock. I was wondering which one I preferred as an alt, but I really do think the Clippers can smack them, but maybe the Clippers mess around. Joker has a great quarter, but I think eventually they'll go and win this game. So if you want to go for the Clippers, you can find the spread at 5.5 at -116. You can go 6 at -110. I'll go 5.5 at -116. So I'll go with that as my lock for the Clippers. No offense to Denver. I didn't think you were very good to begin with. It's why I had you listed in the title pretender tier, and people tried to roast me on Twitter, and I think I was fully right. But anyway, point is that the Nuggets just aren't very deep. They're not very good. Clippers look great, and Ty Lue made some adjustments, and now they are probably going to run away with this. Give me the Clippers minus the 5.5 at minus 116 as my lock. For my dog, I have to do it. Give me the alt under on the Rockets and Warriors game. Once again, they combined for 22 points in 2 minutes, and the game still landed 203. I have to go for an alt line. It might not be as ugly as game 1, but it might be close to it. I will go with the alt under in this game. The question is, how low do I want to go?
How low
this
can you go?
Yeah.
How low
can you go to the floor? For this one, I'll go with 198.5 at plus 155. I think you're going to see both teams potentially finish in the 90s or 80s. If you like watching 90s box score basketball, this might be the game for you. But give me in my opinion, Rockets winning. But I see like a 95 to like 88 game. I see it being very ugly. Give me once again, under 197.5 at plus, under 198.5 at, wait, did I say 197 or 198.5? I think I said 88.5. Give me the under in the Rockets and Warriors game, under 198.5 at plus 155.
All right. Let's get Underdog Fantasy rolling, and let's get up out of here, Scotts.
Do they dare post Kuminga lines? That's the question. Whether Kurt likes it or not, he's got to be out there. It's actually amazing for Kuminga because now he has no leash at all.
Yeah, bro, what are you going to do? You can't bench me. You literally cannot bench me.
He's free at this point. They kept him locked up for a while, but now they have no choice. So Kuminga might just go crazy.
Scott, I'm telling you, if they dare give me any type of Kuminga alternate, I will play it. He has nothing to be afraid of because next year you could be on a whole completely different team. Like they can't bench you. He cannot bench you. And if I was his agent, if I was his father, I would be telling him, yo, go out there and just hoop. Yo, what are they going to do? Like, what is he going to do to you at this point? There's nothing he can do.
Even the last game, he played 26 minutes. He had 12 shots. Like, he's going to have to shoot the ball. So I didn't see any lines on him, though, which is unfortunate. But it makes sense because they're waiting for the Butler news.
Jabari Smith Jr. is at 7.5 points, 0.92.
He had 5 last game.
He had 11 before that. And, I mean, they just don't have anything that's going to stop him. I think that they didn't really need him that last game, and it was Torrey Eason that just kind of got hot, got going, and then, again, don't need him. But, like, this one, more competitive on the road, and Jabari Smith Jr. has had a good matchup against them, being able to put up points. I would take it up more. I would probably take it up to 10. I can't do that on Underdog.
I think my concern with Jabari Smith, though, is that he doesn't really attack the basket. They kind of turn him into just a standstill shooter, which kind of limits his upside when it comes to shooting.
But the adjustment that I've seen is that they will play him against, like, try to get him switched on some of the undersized guards and then throw him the ball in the post. And so that's what I'm kind of hoping on.
Yeah, I feel like for this game, I might just go back to Şengün rebounds, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm with that.
I'm not going to reinvent the wheel here. Adams played. They were so focused on Adams that it actually opened up more chances for Şengün. It's 17 rebounds last game. He's going to play a ton. He's probably their best player, question mark. He's going to have to play. So give me the Şengün rebounds.
It's at 9.5. That's
that is so low.
That's 0.88. That's why it's that low.
Double-double instead?
Oh, do they have the double-double up here? No, they don't.
I mean, honestly, I'm fine with the rebounds anyway.
Wow. Wait, hold up. Alperen Şengün's team high scorer is 0.13?
The counterpoint is Jalen Green just had 38 points.
No, but they're not going to let him do that again.
I imagine not, but you have some arguments for other guys who could, in theory, step up. Şengün is probably good for, like, low 20s.
20? Yeah, who else is getting 20?
I mean, we think both teams don't even get to 100, so yeah, it's probably good enough. But you want to go with that?
By the way, I found the double-double is 0.86, so it's nothing there.
What a waste of my damn time. Okay, cool.
Oh, no, man. The team high score thing sounds really interesting.
Sure, you know, it's a unique market for us. Let's try it out.
Yeah. Sure. I mean, come on. Who else is scoring? Like, if it's not Jalen Green, it's literally nobody else.
Van Vliet, if he remembers how to play basketball, but he can't against this team because he has He wasted all his makes or spent all his makes winning Toronto a title, so he can't hit a shot against this team.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, so we can move. Cool. I'll give Kawhi game 4.
Okay.
Because teams hold somebody under their prop one game, and then they let them do it the next game. I'm good. He had 21 that last game, and that was a quote-unquote bad game. He's probably going to walk into 30 here.
Okay.
And Denver's desperate, so they're probably going to force him to continue to play.
What was the number at for Kawhi?
25.5.
Okay. And then
Go
for
find
the
that.
last option.
We can go Ty Jerome. We can go.
Jerome was pretty quiet last game. Do you want to go extremely petty and we fade Bam?
No.
No? Okay, just
because when we do that, he also makes
Yeah. That's fair. That's a fair point.
All
I'm
right,
trying to think
so
if there's any games that we want to target in particular.
Well, let's just say Joker. Let's just go with Joker, man.
I tried that last entry and he didn't score enough points.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
What is this triple double even at? Is it even up here? It's not even up here.
It's probably not. I'm trying to think of who's going to step up or no show without Ja. A part of me wants to take SGA lower on his threes because why the hell are you taking so many threes? Like, I feel like that's why his efficiency's kind of down. He's not really the greatest three-point shooter, but actually, you know what? Let's go D-Gen with it. You want to go for Caruso steals?
Yeah, sure, man.
Full D-Gen. I love Caruso.
Wait, no, it's not up here. It's not.
God
up here.
damn it.
No, it's not up here.
The steals are a 1.5 plus 135 on an actual book. That is so fun. I might ladder that, honestly. That's so fun.
Nah, you know who's been doing this quietly for really solid? And
J-Dub?
Yeah. Dude, what? Oh, dude.
He's been good. Been really good.
Yeah,
Him and Chet have really
I did not think you were really about to guess that. Like,
no, J-Dub's been good.
Dude, there was a whole bunch of like that. You didn't even have to guess that game. There was a whole laundry list of players that you could have talked about, and you really went to J-Dub, the one.
Because J-Dub was kind of carrying for about 3 quarters, and then he deferred in the fourth quarter to Chet. But no, he was playing well.
Yeah, dog. Yeah. All right, there we go. Yeah, that's definitely the play. Did you guess that? What? All right, so we have J-Dub.
I watched the games. I knew he was playing well.
J-Dub higher, 22.5 points. We got Kawhi Leonard higher, 25.5 points, and we got Alperen Sengun higher. Yes, team score, largest team score.
We're gonna try this out. Don't try this at home.
Shoot, try it at home.
Yeah, try it at home. Why not?
Yeah, try it at home. I think we're right.
House. Somebody tells you don't try it at home, go to a friend's house.
Go to a friend's house and do it just in case.
Just in case.
All right. So with that, that's 7.8x. $100 gets you $780 over there at Underdog Fantasy. Make sure you use that promo code NBA SGPN. I don't know, man. I don't know. That team high score for Sengun just feels like what?
We're gonna try.
Are they not watching the
games? It'll be fun.
Are they not watching the games? Jalen Green normally sucks against this team. That 30-point game is the anomaly.
38.
That is not the
38's crazy.
38. Yeah, like that's
crazy.
Like that's the anomaly.
Game 1.
That's the anomaly. That is not what actually happens when he plays this team. So
no, actually, no. The anomaly is Jason Tatum. All right. Anyway, a reminder, by the way, for the weekend schedule before you officially end the show, we are going to be doing night shows for the Sunday games as well. So Lonte and I think, will be back for the Saturday night game, or for the Saturday night show at around 7 p.m. Eastern. So keep that in mind. Then we will be returning to the normal schedule for Monday's games Monday morning.
And also remember, Scott, have you made the WNBA stream yet?
I have not, because I know we agreed on Monday, but we haven't officially worked out a specific time.
Oh, dang. You want to just do this time?
I was going to say, we wanted to do like 7, right?
Yeah, let's just do 7.
So I'll schedule that. It's fine. We're going to be doing win totals.
Wait, what game is going on? Wait, hold on. Pause that before we agree on that. What game?
Well, that's why I assumed we were going to wait for the NBA stuff first.
Let's see. Monday, Game 5, if necessary, in OKC.
Yeah, good luck with that one. So that's going to be a bye.
Okay, so we're officially going to only have 2 games on the slate, and then we got Game 4. So we know we're going to see that Game 4 Heat Cat. All right, yeah, no.
We're good. We're good. This Warriors game's at 10 o'clock. We're good.
That game's going to be the late game. We don't have anything to worry about there. So, 7 o'clock. All right, so see y'all 7 o'clock Monday for the WNBA Gambling Podcast. We'll talk about the East win totals, team previews. Tuesday, we'll talk about the West win total and team previews. And, we're going to have some good stuff coming up. So, think that's it, Scott. Anything else we can give to the people before we get up out of here?
No. Once again, don't forget to check out the night shows or the day shows. But we got a lot of play of basketball left. So once again, tune in.
All right. And with that, he's at Reichel Radio. I am at ___. Make sure you give us a follow at SGPN NBA. Make sure you use that promo code over there, Underdog Fantasy, under NBA SGPN. And with that, that is it. I have nothing else to say, nothing else to do. Another way of ending the podcast. Just end it like this, and we are out of here.